All right. Moving on, a number of violent extremists embrace multiple, sometimes competing motivations, challenging our ability to identify their potential targets in advance because their pre-attack statements online are often unrelated or only loosely related to the targets they ultimately choose. So what they're saying there is, if you say anything about anything that we don't like, we can then correlate it back to this entire list of things and say that, oh, because you say you don't agree with women in men's sports, you're now going to enact a terrorist attack on Jewish populations, right? So if this, then this, so we can this, right? If you say something about gender ideology, we believe that you fall into this potential category to do some Jewish violent attack on Jewish groups. So we can then do all of this in between to surveil you. It says between September 23 and September 24 or July 2024, DVEs driven by anti-government, racial, or gender-related motivations have conducted at least 4 attacks in the homeland, one of which resulted in a death. Like, do you know how much government overreach we're getting for one death here? Between September and July. One death. And they're going to weaponize the Department of Defense. U.S. law enforcement at least disrupted 7 additional DVE plots, 2 HVE plots. And again, I'm not saying that this stuff doesn't happen. I'm not saying that they shouldn't exist. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to maybe not even surveil people domestically, right? That wasn't what was supposed to be allowed until the Patriot Act. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to do their job, though. And their job is to figure out where is a terrorist attack going to come from. And there has been domestic terrorist attacks. Most of the domestic terrorist attacks have been against Donald Trump, not against literally any other government official. So unless they're speaking about, oh, if, you know, I highly doubt they're using this to surveil liberals with blue hair at, you know, some furry event. No, it's being weaponized against the right. But again, they have to be able to do their job. I'm sure there are, you know, there's been like the Boston bombing and there's been other historical events that I would love for these people to stop. And nothing against these people if they're surveilling me right now for talking about furries. But like, I know you got to do your job. I know people who have been in positions in these organizations, and I appreciate what you do. But when it's weaponized against the American people for nothing other than posting a political opinion online so that you can utilize these overreaching government tools to then surveil their private life, that is not constitutional, right? The Patriot Act is not constitutional. And now this type of document allows you to overreach beyond what should be allowed for a complete Orwellian state of government. So if you say anything about this category of things, a list of probably 100 words that they have in the Department of Defense and Homeland Security, if you say any word like this, it triggers AI to pick up your profile, and now they have you on a list somewhere, and now they can use the Patriot Act to listen into your phone microphone and use AI to scrape your conversations and search your conversations for any of the jokes that you make with your wife in private. It shouldn't be allowed. Right? You should still be able to do your job. And I think you can still do your job by monitoring it with a sniper rifle and not an RPG, right? Or a nuke, essentially, right? You don't need to monitor millions and millions and millions of Americans to find the one that's sitting there posting online, talking about how they want to enact some violent act on a school or shoot up some mosque, right? Like, you don't need all of that. You don't need that power to do that.